those of you that haven't met Margaret, Margaret is in charge of our social media. So everything you see out and about on LinkedIn, Facebook, most of that is all done by Margaret. And then I'm sure you guys know Eaton. He's our go-to guy when you guys have problems. He's the first one usually on the phone to help you out. It is 12 o'clock. So with that being said, I want to respect your guys' time, and we'll get you started. So, Mr. Eaton, take it away. Show us about Copilot and how that can help everybody and what they're doing.
Okay, great. So glad to have people back. I know we were having some technical issues last time we did this. So this week, we're going to be focusing more on exploring some of those features that we didn't get to fully see the last time. So today, we're going to go over the main features of Copilot, especially for small business owners. And that's mainly going to be in the Office 365 apps, as well as some other apps like Edge. So just to basically recap, Copilot is an AI-powered assistant, just like ChatGPT and a few others you may be familiar with. And specifically, it's tied to the Microsoft app, so it enhances the user experience across the Microsoft apps like Word, Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, and all that. It does provide tailored suggestions, like all the other AIs, based on how you like to ask questions and what kind of things you usually do. It's tailored to your specific needs. At least it tries to. And one of the best features is that it's going to automate a lot of routine tasks that you may spend time doing repetitively. And it's going to offer real-time insights analysis so you can make better decisions for yourself and your business. Okay, so the main purposes of using Copilot are going to be to increase efficiency. Again, reducing a lot of those automated repetitive tasks, and just automating that is going to save you a lot of time. I've saved a lot of time myself, even in preparing this presentation, and we'll show you how that all ties into the features it has. Reducing cognitive load along with those repetitive tasks, it's going to free up your mind to do other things and hopefully make you more creative so that you're not just spending the same amount of time doing the same thing over and over again. Minimizing errors, it's going to edit a lot of the things you send out, documents, emails, just reduce user error. And lastly, enhance creativity. One of the best features of Copilot is going to be brainstorming, asking questions of ideas you have, and allowing it to expand on those ideas. So specifically for small business owners, hopefully these features will help streamline your operations by removing a lot of the manpower needed for repetitive tasks, reducing the workload for you and your staff, and again, improving your decision making by giving you better insight into your business and lead to some better business outcomes for you. So again, the main tools that Copilot integrates with are going to be Word, Excel, and Outlook. PowerPoint, those are the ones we're going to be looking at today in more detail. And we're going to show you how to do your work more efficiently in those apps. Just to address some of the negative feedback on Copilot so far, so you have a better overall understanding of where things are at right now. Some people do criticize its accuracy at times. For the most part, I've not really noticed any inaccuracies. But when you're working with very specific data and summarizing information and doing research, it's better to use your judgment and review everything and not assume it's going to get everything right. The learning curve can be a little bit steep. Even for myself, it did take a little bit of time to get acquainted with everything. And part of the reason for this presentation today is going to help you, overcome some of those learning curves. Occasional glitches may disrupt the user experience that we're all very familiar with, at least I am. Just happened so that last week during my presentation, they had first nationwide outage exactly during that hour. So it's not going to happen often, but there are some glitches and some features that you may be using or some outages. There are some privacy concerns regarding the data usage. We will be addressing data security later on in the presentation, but because we aren't privy to everything that Microsoft has set up as far as security. There are some concerns that maybe it's not as robust. And then, customer support, it's a hit or miss. You maybe have a hard time getting a hold of someone if you're on the paid version. So as far as data security goes, Microsoft claims it has robust encryption mechanisms so that your data won't be unencrypted by any bad actors. It does do regular security audits and updates, just like with any other Microsoft product. Theoretically, we should have very tight user control over data access in your organization, who has access to what, and making sure that no data from Copilot is spilling over into any other users that they're not supposed to have access to. It's supposed to be compliant with all the data protection regulations for businesses and have transparent data usage policies. So we're going to get into the specific features and showcasing what you can do in each app here. So one of the main features in Outlook is going to be email management and scheduling. In each email, you can suggest different prompts or different ways to respond to people. You can have Copilot modify or edit or have suggestions for what you've typed in. It'll organize your inbox using AI, AI algorithms to see what's more important at the top. And they can help you automate meeting scheduling too. So if you're in an email chain, you can schedule a meeting based off it instead of creating one manually. So we'll just dive into that a little bit here. Okay, we'll be playing around the little email account I created here. So I've written an email to myself, and you'll notice that right off the bat, you'll have this Copilot icon in the top right of the email here. If you hit that summarize button, it'll automatically generate a summary of the contents of the email. Of course, it's a short one, but you can imagine for longer email threads, that's going to be very useful to not have to read the whole thing and just get the main highlights. It says, Eaton asks if you're available to discuss the upcoming presentation for Copilot on Thursday morning. He suggested 9 a.m. as a possible time for the discussion. So if I hit reply, we'll have a couple more options here. Now that we're in an email editing box, or let me pop this out. Now there's a Copilot icon up here in the top bar. So when we click on that, we have two options, draft with Copilot and coaching by Copilot. So if you click on draft, we're going to get a box that comes up and asks us, what do you want this email to say? Let me go and make a suggestion like make a suggestion to have the meeting on Monday morning instead. And click on generate. It'll take a moment to create a draft there. So it's been a whole lot just from that simple prompt there. So it says, hi, Ian, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for reaching out regarding the upcoming presentation with Copilot, yada, yada. Thursday morning would have worked, but unfortunately I have another commitment. So it's taking some liberties and, creating very polite, formal email. There's a field here that says anything you'd like to change. You can say, for example, let's schedule it for Thursday, Monday afternoon instead. And hit regenerate here. Oh, well, actually, I should have hit the arrow, but. Okay, so the responses from AI are always randomized, which is good because it gives everyone a different response, even though the information is always accurate. You can keep on clicking regenerate if you just don't like the overall response and want to, see what else it can spit out. If you want to be specific, you can use this box here, like I said, and let's say, please make the email sound more casual, for example. So now it's shortened. It says, thanks for getting back to me. Thursday morning won't work and all that. So again, it's going to have some other adjustments too here. Make it longer, make it shorter, sound more formal, more direct, more casual, make it a poem. So there's a lot of different tools you can use to generate emails there. And let's just try and make it longer. So a little bit longer, we'll keep that. Let's go ahead and insert it here. You can type in your name and then send it off like that. So I will actually go and send that off. Now, if I go to my sent folder, we'll see that email here. And one of the features that supposedly Copilot can do is create meetings for you based on your emails. So that feature is actually going to be in the new version of Outlook. Right now, we're looking at the old one. A lot of you have probably gotten prompted to upgrade to the newest version lately. And a lot of people don't really like the new look. I mean, it's very different from what the old Outlook used to look like. This is what it looks like here. The benefit would be that it does have some more features, especially with Copilot. So that's something that you guys can explore. Let me go back to my test email here. So if I go ahead and click on this email, there will now be a little icon here that says create a meeting from this message with Copilot. So we're going to try that here. So now immediately it's going to generate a meeting here. One thing I've noticed that it does not seem to pick up the time that was suggested in the meeting. So you will have to manually adjust that time and date yourself. But this will save some time as far as, going to your calendar, creating a meeting from scratch, inviting that person. You can see that the participants of this meeting are already filled out. And it even has a suggested agenda, discuss Copilot presentation and schedule a meeting time. So I can insert that into the body and you'll have a little summary of the meeting based on the email chain that you've been emailing back and forth. So that is an example of something that kind of streamlines some of the busy work you might be doing. Instead of creating out all this from scratch and entering everyone manually, creating a description, you can just hit one button and maybe make a few changes and send that off. Discard that. And then the other feature that we briefly mentioned was that it can edit a response that you're typing up. So let me see, reply here. Let's go to the coaching by Copilot option and here, let's pretend that I just wrote that response here. And let's make a few spelling errors here, see if it catches it. Coaching by Copilot. It's going to take a moment to generate the feedback. Okay, so there's 3 suggestions here. The tone could be more professional. It shows a sample of how more professional language could be used because I did use a casual option when I was generating this prompt. Reader sentiment, suggesting replace best with best regards or kind regards or something, just minor stuff that's really up to your preference. Clarity, it did catch those 2 typos I made, Thursday to Thursday, DTO to just TO, and then clarifying Eaton at the best. So those are the main 3 features of Outlook that I think is going to be a lot of use to a lot of people that may have a harder time writing up an email from scratch or combing through their own email for any errors for clarity and all that. So this should save a lot of time and also reduce errors and streamline your emails basically. Okay, so moving on to the document creation and editing portion of Copilot. This is mainly going to be in Microsoft Word, but it's going to streamline the creation of documents, making it faster to generate content from scratch. It's going to be able to suggest smart formatting suggestions so you can present your documents more professionally. And then it can also summarize content so you can grab the main points of a document, an essay, a report, and save you a lot of time reading through it yourself manually. So let's go into Word and take a look there. Okay, so when you open up Word, you'll see a lot of options here from Copilot already. You can describe what you'd like to write, create a proposal based on the file, produce insights from a file, or draft a memo. There's also this Copilot button in the top right of most apps again, which you'll click on. And then it'll suggest some things they can do for you. So let's start out with, let's say, please create a document outlining, let's say, FTC compliancy requirements for businesses. Now it's going to do some research on the web, which is going to be mostly accurate, and then they'll spit out a little report here. Okay, it's saying here's an outline of FTC compliance requirements for businesses, and it's even going to show you where it pulled that information from. So again, that's combat inaccuracies. You can verify that it's pulling information from the right place. You can insert it here, and now we have a little outline for FTC compliance regarding small businesses. And it's even suggesting some more follow-ups here. What are the penalties for non-compliance? Let's click on that. It's going to create some additional information to add. Okay, so it says non-compliance can result in various penalties, fines up to 50,000 per violation. And so it's pulling up a different source here, and we'll insert that. So you can imagine if you wanted to write this up from scratch and do your own research, writing up something like this may take you something like 20, 25 minutes, for example. Whereas here, I'm generating it in a few seconds and then taking a few minutes to comb over, make sure everything's legitimate, and then formatting it to my liking. So that's going to be one of the most time-saving aspects of the program. We'll look at a couple other features here. I can upload my own documents and images. Let's say, let's try something else here. Restart Word. Okay, so we have the option to write an article based on a file. Let's see what that would look like. No, it's not giving me the option to upload. Okay, let's go here, write an article based on. Still no upload option. Let's see. Well, I do have an example I can use here. FTC safeguards rule. Let's see what it has to say about this document I have saved. Okay, so this is not my original document. It's summarizing and rephrasing the main points of that document I had to make it easier to understand. Get an introduction, a purpose, and a scope. I'll stop that for now. The other thing you can do is go to that document directly. Let's look at another document here. So here we have a compliance plan. And let's say I want to review something that my coworker sent me, this document. I want to see what the main points are. Let's go hit the Copilot icon here. And we'll say summarize this doc. Hit enter. Okay, so we had a 3-page document here that it's summarizing in 4 bullet points. So if you have a habit of reviewing a lot of documents for business that people send you, then this should save quite a lot of time. If you're spending 10 minutes to read through this, maybe you can accomplish it in just 2 or 3, so that's a very useful tool in Word there. Excuse me. Okay, next up we have data analysis and reporting. This is going to be mainly used in apps like Excel. So it's going to offer the enhanced data interpretation to simplify data and let you make informed decisions more quickly. It can generate comprehensive reports that present the findings in a clear format and offer quick insights into large amounts of data, which will make your decision-making and planning much faster. So let's go ahead and look at Excel now. Close what I had. So we're starting off with a blank workbook, and I can actually have Copilot create some sample data for me here. Just got to turn on autosave. Okay, so we have some suggestions from Copilot off the bat. Create some formulas for Excel, understanding pivot tables, get data insights, apply colors and formatting, and asking it how to do certain things in Excel. I'm going to ask it to create a sample data set for me. Let's say, please create a sample data set of, let's say, hours that 5 different employees have worked for, say, 10 different clients. And let's see what it spits out here. So depending on how you manage your employees, maybe their hours are exported into an Excel document or something like that. This is a niche case, but it's going to spit out a table here. Let's insert it to the sheet. And so we have 5 employees, for example, here, John, Sarah, Mike, Emma, David, and 10 different clients. You can see John has worked for client 1 for 10 hours, client 2 for 8 hours, etc. So what can we do with this data with Copilot? Let's say we want to summarize the total amount of hours worked for each client. So I'm going to ask it to do that. Please create a chart summarizing the total amount of hours worked for each client. Okay, so it's created a simple bar graph here, and we're going to add it to the sheet. Okay, so what's created for us is a labeled chart showing the total amount of hours that have been worked for each of these clients. So you can get a good idea of, which client has the most hours worked for them. And you can even do something else like, please create a chart showing the total amount of hours each employee has worked. And if you have any other ideas for things you want to see me try in Excel here, we can do that at the end of the presentation. This will just be a basic overview of the simple things it can do. Okay, so it's created the pivot table. Let's add this in here. Okay, so what's created here is a very detailed chart for each employee, how many hours, visualizing how many hours they worked for each of those individual 10 clients. So that is a lot of stuff there. If you want to create this kind of table on your own based on the data, could take you, maybe 5 or so minutes. Whereas if Copilot, that's if you're familiar with Excel, Copilot can teach you how to do that and can also generate it for you in a few minutes. You might just need to take some time to regenerate. For example, if I just wanted to skip all the clients and just see a total amount of hours, I could just type in the prompt to do that. So, and as far as data insights go, let me just ask the question here and say, which employee has worked the most amount of hours total? Okay, so right here, it's actually telling me, instead of telling me outright, it's telling me how to use a sum function to calculate which employee had the most. So I can do is copy the summary here, the sum rather. Excuse me. Okay, so if I use its formula and just paste those formulas at the end here, it's showing as clients 11, but it's actually totaling the total amount of hours in each of these columns here. So we got 90 for John, and we can immediately see that 104 is the best for Emma, or is the most hours. So it didn't exactly tell me the answer directly, but it did tell me how to do that. It has a few other suggestions here. Which employee has worked the least amount of hours total? Show the top 5 employees by total hours worked. Of course, there's only 5 employees, but let's try the second suggestion here. Which employees worked the least amount of hours? Maybe it's going to analyze it this time for us and spit it out. You can see it does take a little bit of time. The paid version is going to be even faster than the free version, but you may notice some kind of slowness here. I mean, there's not much data, but we'll just see how long it takes here. Yeah, so taking a lot more time than before. Again, that's some goes hand in hand with some of the people complaining about performance issues and some glitches here and there. It might generate forever for all I know. So I'm gonna let that run there and come back to it. But let's go ahead and move on. So just overview. Well, before we get to the overview here, let me go and show you also the abilities of Copilot in PowerPoint. Is going to be another big time saver for a lot of people that do PowerPoint presentations. So right off the bat, when I launch PowerPoint, we have an option to create a presentation or ask Copilot. Let's say when I create a presentation. So it's going to give me a box here that'll prompt me for what kind of presentation we want to create. Let's say create a presentation about, let's say, again, FTC compliancy for small businesses. An overview of FTC compliancy. You can attach a reference file if you want to include your own sources. I'm just going to let it research from the web here. Okay, so we see it spitting out an outline for the presentation it wants to create. Before you hit generate slides, you can delete some of these sections or add new ones. Let's say I want to add a new topic here about getting started with making your business compliant. So I'll just hit enter here and it'll spit out another section for me to create a slide about. And let's say generate slides. Okay, and you can see in Excel here it went wrong. It wants to try again. Let's ask that question one more time here. So you can see all these different slides being created in PowerPoint right now. It's quite a lot, probably about 20 or so. We got, okay, just finished. Usually it takes a moment. Okay, so I actually had to click on blank presentation there. Notice sometimes it's buggy as far as launching an actual presentation, but here you can see a outline of all the slides is created. You can see it's attached and imaged everything to make it look a little bit nice. And yeah, you have a very basic presentation here. Well, actually, it's not even basic. It's 27 pages. It goes pretty in depth. So you can imagine a person doing this by scratch might easily take, a couple hours to a full day creating all these slides. Whereas here, you're having Copilot do all the research for you, summarize the content, and making it in an easy to present manner. So we have a nice little title page here. We have an agenda. It's labeled different sections of the presentation: understanding the FTC, guidelines for advertising and marketing, privacy and data security requirements. So very robust, comprehensive presentation here with a conclusion too. You can even use Copilot to modify the slides. If you don't like to look for a particular slide, instead of editing it yourself, you can use Copilot to make some changes to it. Let's find where that Copilot button is here. So I'd like to pin this. Okay, so we have the designer button here, which can reformat the slide for you. So you can see a couple different other options here. Very useful for, again, this is more of a creativity aspect, brainstorming different ways you can make the slides more presentable. You can see there's some readability issues here. I can select a slide that's more readable, like this one here. It even has some transitions for the text. So it's giving you a lot, within a few seconds. A lot of these things that people used to do by hand can kind of be automated now. So that should free up quite a bit of time if someone was in the habit of generating a lot of presentations on a regular basis. If you hit the Copilot button here, we can see other things that it has to recommend for us. You can summarize the presentation, show key slides, add an image of a particular thing. At one point in this presentation, is there a mention of something? So let's see. Let me just ask it, what point in this presentation is there mention of advertising, let's say? And it tells us slides 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 have mentions of advertising as far as it relates to FTC regulations. Fortunately, the Excel request, it's not able to complete. It's just, one example of a glitch you might have. It's not very hard to get a total for each of these, but some things it's just has some trouble doing. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the PowerPoint features. That's probably going to be one of the most time-consuming things, in addition to generating, documents from scratch in Word, doing all the research for you. So that is PowerPoint. Let's go on. So just a little overview here. Key features of Microsoft Word are going to be content drafting, editing suggestions for existing documents, and then assisting in formatting. Excel, it's going to be automating your calculations, generating charts, and providing insights into your data. PowerPoint, the main features are creating visually appealing slides with intelligent suggestions from scratch, allowing you to modify different layouts, and then using a large range of design elements to kind of stimulate your creativity and let you choose from a lot of different layouts and visual aspects to choose from. And then in Outlook, there was a smart suggestions for creating emails, editing emails, organizing your tasks, and then scheduling meetings efficiently through email chains directly. And then we have some features in Microsoft Edge. So in Edge, Microsoft Copilot is able to offer real-time suggestions based on what you're browsing, access relevant information without leaving tabs, improving your search queries, managing your bookmarks, while also maintaining your privacy and security. So we take a brief look at that in Edge. So in Microsoft Edge, you do have this Copilot icon at the top. It's only going to be available in Edge because it is the Microsoft browser. So you won't see this in Chrome. But if I click on the icon here, it's going to, well, I already have some stuff open. Let's pretend I did it from scratch. Let's open up a new browser instance here. Okay, so when the first loads, we'll see what it gives us. Help me prepare for a meeting, stay informed. It's asking your emails and chats, summarize my week in the style of a comedy roast. So a few options there. Let me look up a PDF I had saved. Let me see. Okay, so I pulled up a PDF from a government site, an example of an annual report. So rather than downloading it directly, I can try to have it summarize the content I have open the page right now. Please summarize this document. Okay, so it's having trouble seeing the document I have up on the screen. I can upload the content myself. Let me try to be more specific here. Please summarize the PDF I have open. No, okay, so it isn't like that exactly, but I can attach a file myself. Nah, it's only liking the stuff I have saved in the cloud there. Can you summarize without uploading? No, okay, so it's not liking that. Let me go ahead and save this document. Yeah, not exactly the easiest to, okay, here we have an option to upload from this device. Go. It's combing through that PDF. So it is able to read Word documents and PDFs and spitting out a little summary here based on the 25 pages that this PDF has. So it's detailing different sections of this document. It's about tax performance systems, outlining specific handbook. So that could save you, again, a lot of time if you're just browsing in the web. Theoretically, it is able to transcribe videos as well. This feature has been hit or miss for me, but we can give an example here. We have a 50-minute tutorial on Excel and YouTube here. Let's wait for the ads. So if we hit the Copilot icon here and say, please summarize the video I have open. Okay, so it's wanting us to restart the conversation. Just open up a new instance of Edge. Again. Please summarize the contents of this video. Summarize the YouTube video that's playing. Okay, let me try copy pasting. Please summarize this YouTube video. Okay, so in this instance, it wasn't able to summarize the video I had open. I had to copy paste the URL, but it's giving a summary of the video based on the transcripts. Now, I have seen people able to use it in the way of just summarizing the video that's playing, but again, the features are a bit spotty. I have some reports from other people that this feature isn't working a lot of the time, or it used to work and it stopped working. So again, there's a lot of things that you have to test for yourself and possibly reach out to Copilot support for if you really need a particular feature. But just want to show you that Copilot is built directly into Edge, and you can ask it to do basically anything for you that you would generally ask an AI like ChatGPT. Again, the YouTube summarization, it technically is a feature, but it seems to be a bit spotty in recent times. So moving on, how to get started with Copilot. First off, you will need a Microsoft account set up, which most of you already have for your businesses. So you have to create your profile with 365 and configure a profile, and then purchase the Copilot plan or use the free one to see what's available for you. There are 4 different Copilot plans. You have the free, individual, business, and enterprise. They all have their own pros and cons. The free plan has basic features that are suitable for most occasional users, especially if maybe you're learning Copilot. You may just want to stay on the free plan just to see if it's going to be something useful to you. The other paid plans, like the individual plan, is going to provide enhanced features, which also means better responses, actually. Business plan has features used for team collaboration, and then the enterprise plan has tools for large organizations. So here's a different chart showing the benefits of the free and paid versions. Different features, performance of the paid version is going to be better, especially during peak times. And when it comes to things like image generation that require more resources, a better collaboration, integration with more advanced Microsoft tools like Power BI and Dynamics 365. And then the paid version is going to have better access to customer priority support. So you can create tickets with Microsoft and troubleshoot any issues you've been having, like some of the issues we've seen today. And I'll talk briefly about some of the new developments that are supposed to be coming in 2025. Better AI capabilities for more enhanced, more accurate suggestions, more integration for tools like Microsoft Teams, enhanced user interface for navigation, data analysis tools, and customization options. So those features will be coming to Word and PowerPoint and Excel. Outlook's supposed to have better email sorting, prioritization features, and then Teams will incorporate some smart meeting scheduling functions as well. And just some tips for maximizing your use out of Copilot. You will want to utilize the features pretty regularly, so you make sure you don't forget how to do certain things and stay on top of the new features that are coming. You'll want to explore all the different capabilities that Copilot has, because discovering a new feature could save you, an immeasurable amount of time for that particular thing you're trying to do, as long as you know that the feature actually exists. You can even ask Copilot whether it's able to do certain things in your workflow. And you want to stay updated and keep an eye on the news regarding Copilot, so you make sure that you're aware of any new features that are coming that might be of help to you.
The one thing that I've noticed since we've started using Copilot, it's been getting better and better each time. Before, I was not impressed with it, but each time we go over it again, it seems to learn more, do more, respond more, especially to the way I talk or I type and send out messages. It's becoming more user-friendly on my side of the world. I don't know if you noticed that, Eaton.
Yeah, definitely. It's better integrations with all the apps, especially like with Outlook, creating meetings and all that. There are features there that weren't there in the past. So it's definitely something that could be of use to a lot of people in business for sure.
One of the other things with the business version of it, it keeps your business information within your business. It doesn't share it, I was told by Ivan. where some of the other AIs out there may do some things better, but they're sharing your information. They can share your information.
Yes, so it may use the questions you're asking or some of your information to improve on itself, and there may not be very transparent about who they're sharing that data with as far as other organizations. So supposedly Microsoft keeps everything internal, but again, security is something that it's always going to be a concern as far as whether they're being fully transparent or not. But I don't think that anyone has anything really to worry about as far as that goes, Copilot.
Right. I want to thank everyone for coming. If you have anything, like I said earlier, that you would like us to talk about, or you want more information on, please send me an email and we can get a webinar on that. We are going to try to have a webinar monthly, the last Wednesday of the month. Have not come up with one for next month yet, but if you are interested, please let me know, and we can try to cater to what you're looking for. With that, nobody else has anything else. I want to thank you again for coming, and look forward to seeing you next month. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care, everyone. Thanks for attending.
Bye.